Hey up, Sofa Squad, and welcome to a rather disorganized edition of On the Sofa. Um, it's going to be a bit chaotic this evening
Whoops.
because I've hardly prepared anything because I've just been really busy. Um, but, I usually only have the only have my daughters up until Tuesday. But I had them up until Wednesday this week, and so I've just been, and also I'm busy trying to write a new book, um, which no doubt I'll tell you about another time. But thanks for watching, and if you want to become a patron, you can. Um, and you'll join the name scrolling along the bottom of the screen right now. And if you want to buy my book, Surviving 2020, you can do that as well. That would really help me out.
So
Uh,
surviving 2020, is that like the surviving R. Kelly? I watched that and that was actually kind of scary.
yeah, I didn't see that one. Uh, but
Honestly, people knew for years. People like if you see a crime, report it. Don't wait 25 years to wait for Diane Sawyer to pay you money.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I think we all kind of knew that something was going on. Just like we all knew about Michael Jackson.
That actually boils my blood when people talk about that because I don't know why so many people give that man a pass. I
Mm,
have a child with a disability. I wouldn't let him near my child. Could you imagine with Mike if Michael Jackson was around with autism, how it is nowadays?
yeah,
He
yeah,
would he'd have a carnival over there at Neverland Ranch.
yeah. Definitely. I mean, the thing is, while he was still alive, we all used to joke uh, about his activities with young children. Let's put it that way. And
Well, if it walks like a duck and talks like a duck, if you're a grown adult and you're hanging out with people you have no relation to and they're minors, there's a problem.
yeah, um, I think one stand-up comedian even said that. Well, if I was a multi-millionaire who wanted to lure children to my home, I'd have a roller coaster in my back garden, and there was even a joke. They even made a joke about it on the second um, Adams Family movie, and but after he died, everyone stopped talking about it, and as you
In
say, he gets a free pass.
So here in California, it is well known that if you're famous or if you have money, you can do anything and get away with anything. It's the
Mm,
weirdest phenomenon. Even having a certain address will get you out of trouble.
yeah.
It's the strangest thing. And I know it's not just local to where I live.
Mm. Anyway, um, anyways, how are you?
It's been a crazy week as well. I'm
Mm.
even though I look like a completely irresponsible human being, I run a household. I
Mm.
run a business, so it's been a crazy week, and my I'm just having a lot of like people are acting crazy, and people are just you know I jokingly said to my ex-wife earlier about like a half an hour ago, Mercury must be in retrograde because we're both atheists, so we laughed our asses off, but people like I don't know, there's just crazy stuff going on where I live.
Yeah.
So, and in my hometown, somebody put somebody else in a closed donation bin. and they were deceased. And
Hmm.
contrary to popular belief in Los Angeles, I live in the city. When someone says they live in London, isn't like London's humongous, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
And Los Angeles is the same way. So, I live on the west side and
Hmm.
stuff like that just doesn't happen around here. So it's big news. People are
Yeah.
calling each other. It's big news. It's still
Hmm.
kind of a small town, even though 300,000 people live on just my side of town.
Yeah. I mean, London. I mean, you've got the city of London,
Hmm.
which is where all the commerce and business happens, and you've got the famous Oxford Street
Yep.
right in the middle, and then surrounding the city of London, you've got London proper, if you like, and you got lots of different London boroughs.
Exactly. And
And
Los
so,
Angeles is the same way.
yeah, so I mean, Los Angeles must be a giant compared to London. I mean, I can't even imagine how big it is.
There's 10, like the census says that we have 10 million people living just in my county. And to
Mm,
give you perspective, Disneyland is about an hour and a half, 2 hours away, and they're in a different county.
right.
So Anaheim is in Orange County, which is different from Los Angeles County. And they have millions and millions of people as well. So
Mm,
it's I really didn't start thinking of Greg. I'm looking at the costume on Twitter, and that is knitting artwork. That is amazing. Um, I don't think about how many people are here because I'm immersed in it.
yeah.
My gardener told me that he thinks that just people from Mexico alone, he thinks there's 5 million people here. And that's just from Mexico.
Okay.
Like LA hasn't LA is so unreal diverse. I don't even know if I could like give it justice by saying that like I'm from LA and I eat Armenian food, I eat Korean food, I eat Thai food, I eat like Filipino food. And it's because
Mm,
people come here from around the world.
yeah.
I like the diversity. A lot of people, I see people who don't live in an area like mine, they complain about things, but I don't know. I've lived somewhere where it's all just either white people or black people, and it's boring, and the food's terrible. I said it. I said it. Except for in the South. In the South, Americans know how to cook, but you know, we I'm not going to go off too hard about immigration because I know it's a big issue in your country right now, but
Mm,
like in America we need immigration. We
yeah.
need people here. We need new blood in this country.
Yeah. I mean, so there are those who think that we shouldn't have any immigration whatsoever, and but there are some people who think that we need immigrants to come over to you know to solve the labor crisis.
In
Um,
America we have one right now. Like we
mm,
we are in the middle of a labor crisis and no one's really talking about it, but most people don't want to work, and honestly I don't blame them. I don't blame them, but
yeah,
our infrastructure is slowly falling apart as well.
yeah. But the problem we don't have skilled workers who we don't have skilled workers who are, for want of a better term, native to this country.
Hmm.
Um, so we need skilled workers to come over and work here. Well, and in the meantime, we need to be training up people to do, to do, um, to do the jobs, that need, that there's a shortage of. Um,
Because I'll tell you, like in a place like Mississippi, okay, they kicked out all the illegal immigrants, and I
mm,
read this in National Geographic. It was an article years back. Well, what happened is they had food rotting on the vine because no one from there knew how to work the fields. So I don't know, like we need to teach our I don't know, it's so different. In my day, they literally would teach us different jobs.
Mm.
They would teach us accounting, they would teach us all these. Hello, stool. Oh,
School, you need to come in. We miss you.
Yeah, we're talking about your favorite subject of immigration. And I will say though, it still trips me out how Nigel Farage will pick a random spot in the ocean and go yell at the ocean.
Yeah.
He never ceases to amaze me. I don't know. I have a different view on immigration because on my mother's side, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for that. And people always say like, oh, but your grandfather was in World War II and this or that. Like times change. If someone wants to come here legally, like I'm no one to tell them not to.
Yeah.
We have this really romantic view of the past, and not everyone's family member came through Ellis Island, like in The Godfather.
But our new Home Secretary, Suella Braverman, we talked about her quite often on this show in the past. She's a really nasty person in my opinion, but she wants to. She has said that she's going to go ahead with the, with the Rwanda policy. Shipping, illegal immigrants. To Rwanda.
She arrogantly said that she was going to send them back. In her interview, she was just so full of herself, and she said, that it's her dream.
Yes.
To send these people back. Do you know, I'm lactose intolerant. I dream of eating ice cream. That's my dream. That is literally, I want to have cheese fries, and she wants to exile human beings.
Yeah, it's not quite the same as Martin Luther King Jr.'s I Have a Dream speech, is it?
James O'Brien absolutely raked her over the coals. I actually was laughing. I feel like sometimes like I've become so sadistic because I'm laughing at things that aren't funny, but they are funny as hell,
Yeah.
But who says that? Who says I have a dream to ruin people's lives? Like you're saying the quiet part out loud.
Yeah, she's a nasty person. I don't like her. I really don't like her.
I've said this until I am purple in the face. Who votes against their own interests? Am I wrong in saying that her parents would have been sent under her own policy?
Probably, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean,
or her grandmother?
I don't know. Probably, yeah. I don't know about her parents, to be honest.
Because they love to brag about their origins, and as they're literally making policies against people that look just like them.
Yeah.
I don't know. Your foreign secretary is what's her title?
She's the Home Secretary.
Between her and Priti Patel, like, just that's not a very good showing.
No. It's
in your lifetime, did the UK ever have a policy of not accepting immigrants?
I think successive governments have tried to, have tried to deal with with immigrants in different ways, because to appeal to certain members of society who don't want them in. The NIMBYs, we call them, not in my backyard. They don't want immigrants.
True, but are they? I have a question. Are they a majority or a loud minority?
I wouldn't want to. Hang on, I've got a comment from Stool here. She and Patel are massive racists. That's a fact. Yeah, I mean, it's it's strange. You know, we've got a strange paradox because on one hand, we've got perhaps the most diverse, the most racially diverse cabinet ever, and we've got a black man in perhaps the as chancellor. You know, he's second most power. He holds the second most powerful job in government, and but on the other hand, they're making racist policies. That harm people of color.
George Bush Jr. was like that. He had one of the most diverse cabinets ever, and they wreaked havoc on this country.
Yeah. So anyway,
but they keep on spouting. They're just towing the conservative line. Eventually, it's going to give out, and they're all going to get voted out of office or told to leave in one way or the other.
And Stoll says it's not strange. They come from racist countries. They only like the right kind of immigrants. Okay. Yeah. Okay. That's an interesting opinion. I wouldn't like to speak. I don't know enough about it to speak to that really. But you could have a point, Stoll. I don't know.
Well, actually, like in a way, is it right for people to be welcoming in families from the Ukraine when people from Iraq are being told to leave your country? When my country and yours turned Iraq into a parking lot.
Yeah.
You know, like that's the one thing that trips me out. Like where is that line? Oh, you knew stuff?
You know,
how do you say that?
You knew stuff.
I knew you were French, Stool. I knew you were. Comes out in your keyboard.
I mean, so yeah, it's
the one thing I don't understand, and I still refuse to. Why Rwanda? Yeah. Why? You know what? If you guys were sending people to the Bahamas, I'd get on a boat right now. Send me to Jamaica. Support me to Jamaica. I'd have so much fun. I'd never cut my hair again. I'd show my hairline. You know.
Well, we could send them to Australia like we used to back in the day.
Or Canada. Canadians, not all. I think it's a myth that all Canadians are nice, but I would say about 35% of them are the nicest people on earth.
Yeah, no doubt. But it gets cold there.
Says someone where it rains all the time.
Yeah, true.
I live in the desert. Alexa, what's the temperature right now?
Right now, it's 90 degrees Fahrenheit. Would you also like the
Alexa, what's 90 degrees Fahrenheit in Celsius?
90 degrees Fahrenheit is about 32.2 degrees Celsius.
That's hot.
It's 32 right now, and it's supposed to be winter. I live in the desert.
Yeah. I don't think I could live there. It's too hot for me. I would burn.
It's been on average 30 degrees or above for the past 4 or 5 months now.
But I was watching. I've been catching up with Better Call Saul, and their episode where he and Mike have to walk through the desert together, and I would die. I would just die.
You know what's really funny? I could put you in a car and take you 30 minutes from my house, and we would be out in the middle of the desert. Or I could take you where Kirk fought the Gorn. It's literally the parking lot of Vasquez Rocks. People go there. I actually go there a lot, and it's really cool to see Trekkies come from around the world to take pictures in front of rocks.
Yeah. Awesome.
I live in the desert.
Mm.
But a while ago, in my 20s, 20 something years ago, I lived in Portland, Oregon, which has comparable weather to the UK. And I only lasted like 3 years. I could not take the weather. So I understand. If you're not from there, you would not, it's one of those funny things.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it would take me a while to get acclimatized, but I think I could survive eventually. But I don't know. Well, but it'll take me a few years, I think, to get used to it.
Human beings adapt, but body shock is real. So like if you
Yes.
threw me in the snow right now, I would die.
Mm.
I would be done.
Anyways, there's a hang on. So if StreamYard have changed their settings, so I'm just trying to figure out how to slides and present screen.
It's really funny you'd say that. Like I hate it when menus change.
Mm.
And I recently went to my StreamYards. I'm like, am I on drugs? What is this? Yeah, it's changed. It's definitely changed.
Mm. But funnily enough, Labour are urging Suella Braverman to ramp up asylum seeker deportations. So
I just don't understand. Is this their like statement? Are they considering this part of Brexit?
This is from Shadow Chancellor Rachel Reeves. Let's see if we can listen to her. What have I done? I did mean to do that. Hey, this isn't it.
What a terrible song to come out to.
This should be
shoe or boot with all that craftsmanship, skill, but it's evolving and developing.
The Conservatives have been in government for 12 years now, and illegal immigration is on the increase. So this is a problem that's been made under their watch. They need to process claims faster, get people out of the country if they've got no right to be here, and get a grip of their failed immigration system, which is not working for British people, and it's not working for genuine asylum seekers either.
So you welcome then her plans to introduce legislation to make it easier to deport people?
Well, the problem is the government are not deporting people today, even when their claims have failed. What the government need to do is get a grip of the system, process claims quicker, ensure that people who have not got a right to be here are sent home. But that's not happening today, and that is 12 years of Tory failure.
So, what constitutes somebody not having the right to be there? Is it a criminal record? Is it the shade test?
I don't know.
When you get a brown paper bag, anything darker than this can't come into this country.
Your guess is as good as mine. But there's a debate on what constitutes what makes someone illegal. What makes someone an illegal immigrant?
Especially someone seeking asylum. Like I said, and I can only go by the American example. Every war that we have ever fought, we bring mass amounts of those people back to this country.
Mm.
Like in Northern California, there is a massive population of people that are Hmong Chinese or Vietnamese that were from the Vietnam War. In Maine, I've done a fair share of traveling. I was shocked. I went to a town in Maine. It was all Somali people. And I mean, it snows in Maine. I hadn't seen a person of color since I left like New York. And they all were brought here under the Clinton administration, you know? So how come your country doesn't do that?
But thing is, it's not illegal to seek asylum in this country.
Okay.
And I think what people say is, if you come here via a route that hasn't been sanctioned by the government, let's say, then you're coming over here illegally. If you're coming, for example, if you're coming over here on a raft across the channel, that's an illegal way to gain access to this country. But there are others who argue that no, it isn't. That's the act of coming here is not illegal, and seeking asylum is not illegal. So therefore, there's not really any such thing as an illegal immigrant. And Stall is saying it's not illegal to seek asylum here, but they have made it so there are no legal routes. Yes,
that's where it gets confusing.
Yeah,
because again, do you guys have a processing center like Ellis Island? I know it's not the 1900s anymore, but do you have a place where people can get processed into your country? Because we still have places like that here.
I think there used to be a processing place in Calais, where I think that got closed down. Maybe Stall knows more about this than I do, but I'm pretty sure that's the case.
Even on the American-Mexican border, the entire checkpoint is a massive processing area. The United States immigration's offices are on the border.
Yeah. Oh, we've got Laura. Hello, Laura.
Hi there.
Interesting. Hello.
Hi. How are you doing?
Well,
we're doing fine. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good.
So, like I said, we have a massive infrastructure for immigrants. Whether we do it or not is a whole other subject. But in your country, do you have an infrastructure to process people?
Oh yeah, there is an infrastructure. It takes a long time though, and there's a huge backlog.
Yeah, well, we have an infrastructure. It doesn't involve cages.
Well, at the moment, that's the case. Yeah,
well,
I wouldn't put it past our current government to bring that in.
A British person, it makes me laugh hearing anyone with that accent trying to condemn anyone for putting anyone in a cage. You literally can't even talk about genocide or anything like that, or condemn anyone. Like, you're from the UK. We learn, like any country, we learned from you guys. You can't say, oh, you're awful, as you have cages in your country as well, just the ones you don't talk about.
I mean, we
live in the West.
we put Jews in concentration camps centuries before Hitler did.
Yeah.
We invented concentration camps.
To quote Saltai, if you go far back enough, you can blame an amoeba for splitting in two. If you go far back, you could just point the blame. The finger could go around in circles.
I think there's a danger of saying that, oh, well, you can't complain because you did this first. That is kind of whataboutism, isn't it?
But we're still living in it, though.
A long time
if we weren't living in it, it would be different. We're still living in the results. If we were like post-colonial in spaceships like the Jetsons, that'd be cool. We could all be objective. But we're still living in the smear of colonialism. That's why, like, when the Queen died and people, they were like, oh my gosh, how could you actually be offended? Ask a Kenyan. Ask a Kenyan how they feel. Ask, the world is a lot. I think the one thing that's happening to the UK right now, and I hope everyone gets offended, is that you guys are no longer the world leader, but in your minds, you still have the same language that you are. And so when you say something to certain countries, they're like, no. Do you know India makes more money than you guys do now? Australia, you guys literally sell guns and pot, and what's illegal in your country? I was so shocked to find out how much marijuana you guys sell.
Oh, right. Yeah.
How much condensed cannabis comes from your country. I was shocked. I was shocked. You make as much as we do, but it's illegal there.
Yeah. But by the way, Stool is going to colonize your ass. I mean,
Well, take me to dinner first.
well, what your donkey has got to do with it, I don't know.
Take me to dinner first. No, you know what? I in a way I agree with you, Laura, but all I'm saying is, like, in the Western world, all of our hands are dripping in blood. So we can't, like, I don't condemn people for, like, I'm the result of it. I'm not the cause of it.
Hmm.
There's a big difference for the 170. You know, and you know what? I'm arrogant because I live in California and we literally are the backbone of America, and everyone hates California because gay people can live in peace here.
I know, how weird is that? You know, how dare people not be like treated like garbage? Because
Exactly. They, like, most of America hates California now because every time they make some crazy law, we're like, all right, well, we'll just make a law against that. Like, human rights. Wow. You know.
But Stool makes an interesting point. We're the 107th biggest economy in the world. Who are the Tories blaming for the pound crashing?
oh, it's Putin's fault.
Oh, I saw that. I was like, what? I saw an interview. You know, Liz Truss has said it more than once now.
Yeah. Well, Liz Truss has said that it's Putin's fault. The Chancellor, whose name temporarily escapes me.
Quasi Kwarteng.
Yeah. Thank you, Kwasi Kwarteng. I had a brain fog.
Oh, I'm an American. I just can't pronounce it.
But he was saying it's the Queen's fault. The Queen died, and that threw me, and made me do a shitty budget. That's what caused it.
Is that what is it? Did he actually say something like that?
Yes, it was on the news and everywhere.
Yeah, I think Jacob Rees-Mogg said it's Labour's fault.
Of course, it's absolutely it's Labour's fault because they haven't been in power for 12 years.
He is such a greasy weasel, and he needs to take those marbles out of his mouth. Oh, he drives me mentally. It's,
Did you see the footage of him laughing hysterically at the Queen's funeral, though?
Yes, he looked like a serial killer.
I mean, what was that about?
Okay, so even the American knows that when you're sitting in a room of people grieving, that's not the time to just jump out with boisterous laughter. It's not the time.
Is he on drugs?
They were kicking in right there.
But yeah, Stool says they are blaming Putin and Keir Starmer, the woke, and the BBC and Twitter, the Queen and John Craven.
I saw that.
Yeah. Someone else was blaming, but one of the ministers was blaming I think it was Cleverly. James Cleverly, or James Thickerly, as I call him. He was saying it's the media's fault. He said to your girlfriend, Kay Burley, it's your fault for bringing it up so often.
I saw that.
We have to do a U-turn.
First off, y'all need to be way nicer to my girlfriend. I know she asked really annoying, hard-hitting questions. That's one thing I love about Kay Burley is she does not back down. And that's just like their style, but she'll just keep hammering people. I love that. I love that.
I will colonize Kay Burley's ass. Stool, you're supposed to be British. We say arse in this country.
I dare you. I bet she's got a burly bodyguard.
I bet, yes. I bet she has. Anyway.
Are armed guards a thing in your country?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we have them here.
Not so much armed that much.
But, like in America, if you see Rihanna walking around, don't run up to her because you possibility of getting shot. Don't make any sudden moves.
She has burly bosoms.
To be fair,
you're really on Kay Burley today.
Yeah.
To be fair, though, that's pretty much a description of going up to anyone in America.
Yes.
They may shoot you.
I talk about that all the time. Like, one of the reasons we don't have a lot of violence around here is because of the threat of violence. So, yes, it's very true. You should never run up on anyone, and especially nowadays. People have become even more entrenched in their I need a gun. So, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, in Florida, you can stand your ground by feeling threatened, going home, getting your gun, going back, and then shooting the person who threatened you.
You have to be shouting, "I'm scared," and get away from me. But yes, you can do that.
Yeah.
As you're shooting, you're saying, "I'm scared, get away from me." America's insane. No, I'm not saying, like I said, we all have our hands are drenched as well.
But I don't know if you saw this, but there was a night of the hurried U-turns. This is from The Guardian. Even as Liz Truss was being toasted for her tax-cutting resolve, PM and Chancellor were bowing to clamour to reverse course.
That picture looks like my parents every time I got a report card home. Just the disappointment in their face and shock and horror.
As Liz Truss waited to take the stage at an event for Northern MPs on the drinks reception circuit at the Conservative Party conference on Sunday night, she was introduced enthusiastically as the tax-cutting Prime Minister by the party chair, Sheikh Berry. Just over half an hour later, the Prime Minister set out her philosophy on taxes to the party faithful at a drinks party on the 25th floor of the upmarket Cube building in Birmingham. Frankly, we haven't made enough conservative arguments for the past few years, she told them. Tory members knocked back glasses of champagne, and some compared it to Margaret Thatcher for doubling down so rigidly on her plan to cut the top 45 pence tax rate. Just over 12 hours earlier, Truss had insisted to the BBC's Laura Kuenssberg she was standing her ground, prompting Michael Gove to go public with his criticism. Shortly, I won't read more of it. But we all know what happened. It was only about 24 hours after she said that she U-turned on this policy. Oh, what's this?
Sorry, on my phone. I watch sports and my phone reminds me.
What is it called? Is it the Magic 8 Ball?
Yes.
That seems
to you shake it.
Yeah, that seems to be the policy system for the UK right now with Liz Truss.
Oh yeah.
Shall I do this? Outlook is not good. Ooh. Do it then.
So I mean that screeching U-turn, that was humiliating for her, wasn't it?
Yes.
And she, apparently, some of her backbenchers are plotting against her already.
They're openly didn't what's her name? Sue, I can't say her name. The woman who wants to continue to send everyone to Rwanda.
Braverman.
I was watching, I don't know, it's so funny. I watched the labor conference and they were boring but entertainment. I couldn't watch the other one. It was just boring. But when she sat down, she kind of arrogantly went behind Liz Truss and was like, no, we're going to do this, this, and this. They're already coming after her. And who said, there was somebody who said, oh, if she doesn't do this policy, she won't be around a week. There's blood in the water, so the sharks are going after her.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
the Conservatives are absolutely mired in their own internal politics, which is ironic, given that the whole reason for having the Brexit referendum was based upon let's shut up these stupid Eurosceptics once and for all.
Exactly.
yeah, but it backfired, and here we are.
Yes.
I have a question as an outside observer. Is there a noticeable change since Brexit where you live in your area?
Yeah, I mean,
Is there less food on the shelf? Is there like less
There
cows?
was. there was for a while, for a few months. It's under control now, though. But for a few months, there was fewer. There were empty shelves in my local supermarkets.
Wow, that's crazy. And that was directly because of Brexit.
I don't know if it was. Brexit certainly was a contributing factor. Because there were fewer lorry drivers coming over from the European Union. But I think there were. It could have been because of COVID as well, and certainly Brexit played a part.
I'm always interested. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Talking of Brexit, it looks like Brexit could be killing our pork pie markets.
Riot in the street. You guys, like I always tell you, Mike, you guys used to riot. If they took pork away from Americans, we would be in the street rioting.
This is from Just Food. And the headline reads, UK pork pie firm Vale of Melbury collapses under market challenges. Administrators cite challenges around ingredients and energy costs and labour shortages for the firm's demise.
Where are they based, or were based?
I can't remember. They've got it doesn't seem to say in this article, but yeah.
What's the name of the company?
Vale of Melbury.
Vale of Melbury. I don't know where that is. For a second, I thought you said Mowbray. And the reason that I sort of was...
Oh, it says North Yorkshire.
Oh, right. In that case, no, then. There's just an interesting thing in the in Melton Mowbray, which is where they make dog and cat food.
Oh yeah,
and it's like, isn't it interesting? This, if they were both from Melton Mowbray, it's like, okay, so we've got dog and cat food, which really can't be eaten by humans because it's not good, but it's okay for cats and dogs. In the same place as pork pies being made. Is this a coincidence?
Do you know what's really funny? We must have different laws because in East Los Angeles, very famously, there is a hot dog plant. I don't even want to say the brand name because it's a very famous brand name, but they're right next to a dog food processing plant. To the point where people walk up and take pictures. It's like an LA lore. So we have different laws. that goes on in America.
I love how you didn't want to say it. You're such a wiener.
No, hey, I honestly have stuff to lose. I own a business. I'm not trying to go after anybody. I kind of you know what, honestly, America is ran by corporations. And if anyone thinks anything less, then you don't have a real job.
But I thought Liz Truss was going to open new pork markets, but she seems to be closing them down instead.
It's cheese. It's cheese.
Cheese.
If you started messing with American institutions, like I said, we'd be in the streets. If you shut down McDonald's, are you kidding me? There would be riots. Not very healthy ones.
See, this is where you need to take advice from Putin, because when they have tried having riots, they just get the police in and just like take you away and send you off to the army.
Isn't that not crazy how the mass exodus of people leaving that country?
Yeah, I love it.
He can't even lie and be like, oh, we're the great powerful. Like, nah, man, people have iPhones. They're like, no, I'm leaving this effing country. You can't even lie about it because we're all watching this mass exodus. It's very interesting. Because my father, I always considered him a bit of a warrior because he spent his entire 20s, 30s, and 40s in war. And he would always say, like, in the Navy, you fight the ship, and when you sink the ship, you turn around and pick up the people. You know, because it's not the people's fault that they were put out there by their country, and vice versa.
Yeah. Well, I can understand why he would have been in war for 40 years, because, you know, ever since World War II, with, you know, because World War I and World War II, Americans kind of turned up late for the party, and ever since then, they've just started them all instead.
Well, my dad also was an electrical engineer, and he spoke like 15 languages, so he was highly desired, and he was a capitalist. So he, like, after a while, he chased money, and the military will pay you to go do insane things.
By the way,
America's wild. America is wild. As someone who's traveled and like been around the world, America is a wild place. I can see why people look at us and they're like, "You guys are crazy." Yeah, we are. We're functionally crazy.
But by the way, when I say these kind of like, "Oh, America just started all the wars ever since," I'm only joking.
Oh no, I give it back.
Yeah.
Like I said, no, I have a very objectionable eye on history, because no one can say like, oh, we're completely innocent.
No. But,
as far as nations go.
But in my opinion, if Labour think that they can make Brexit work, they're deluding themselves.
Yeah.
Brexit is never going to work. It just isn't.
It's
disaster capitalism.
That's why I'm kindly asking these questions, because, was it when did Brexit like get pushed through? How many years ago was
2016?
Yikes! On YouTube, I was like, you guys, I was like, this is disaster. I typed in all these things, and it's all become true. And I don't consider it prophecy. You just have to have, you know, vision for the future. It's sad. It's sad. Like, I've actually been to your country twice. I thought it was lovely. I think it's sad to see what's happening to your country.
Yeah.
To be serious, I think it's awful.
I think one of the saddest things for me, when in 2012 we had the Olympics, and the country all pulled together, and it was brilliant and everything. And I have never felt so patriotic when I watched, you know, a pretend queen jump out of a helicopter and
absolutely.
You know what I mean? I mean, it's like, yeah, you know, the fact she took part in it, you know, in this little joke, said so much. But also, you know, it's just all put together so well and everything, and you know, it's so great, and I felt really patriotic about it. And now I feel shitty about it.
Stool wrestling is not real, and this queen did not jump out of a helicopter. I actually was watching something about this the other day, where some guy was like, you know, it took me a year to figure out that the queen really didn't jump out of the helicopter. Like, are you serious, man?
Sadly, the guy that did jump out dressed as the queen is dead now. He had an accident.
Oh, that is sad.
Yeah.
Is that like anyone who deals with the Clintons magically disappear? It's not one of those things.
Oh my gosh. You know, when the Queen died, it was like 2 days after shaking hands, with Liz Truss, and on Twitter, people were basically saying, "Keep him away from David Attenborough, whatever you do."
I saw this really cool thing. Oh, I don't even want to say it. I don't even want to say it. Well, actually, it's been a while. It was a chart. It was like Mortal Kombat, and it was Magic Johnson, and it was Betty White, and then the Queen, and it said Magic wins. because where I'm from, we're still shocked that Magic Johnson is alive. Like we're still shocked that he's alive.
Never shake hands with Margaret Thatcher. Well, a bit difficult, really.
I was about to say, if she walked up right now, the zombies are real, and I'm gonna go get a shotgun.
Today, Emma Thompson was trending on Twitter because it just so happens that a dress that she wore in a TV series where she was the Prime Minister and xenophobic and putting people in camps and stuff, just happened to be exactly the same dress as Liz Truss wore, just slightly different color.
Coincidence?
I know.
I have many thoughts on that as someone who makes clothes. It is easy. Well, no, you'd have to go look for that pattern. Is it intricate?
No, not really.
Okay.
I mean, it's got a V-neck with some notches in the side, the shoulder area. And it's got like sleeves that have a slight bobble on the top.
Okay.
Slightly puffed, but not exactly puffed. And has a belt. So many dresses do these days. So.
Anyways,
one of the reasons I say that is because I copy styles of stuff of certain things. Like if I see something I like, I'll go to the store and make the shirt.
Oh, by the way, just so you know, I am now over a year into my HRT now.
Oh, cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, my medical transition is going very nicely. And over a year now. I took part in Manchester Pride just a few weeks back. That was cool as well. So, it's been really nice.
Stool for the win. Just tweeted it. Okay, so it's close, but I will argue it's not the same color.
No.
But it's the same.
That's what I said. It's the same dress, just different color.
Okay.
Coincidence, I think.
Well, she was cosplaying as Margaret Thatcher. That got annoying and weird.
Yeah.
That was really weird. If I says the guy who's literally wearing a Coolio shirt right now. No, when you put that thing up with Coolio and Paddington Bear, it made me want to cry. So I put on my Coolio shirt. This is a 1990s Ben Davis LA Gangster shirt that Coolio was wearing in the video. I'm surprised I still fit in this.
Yeah, apparently the pound fell again today with reports that Liz Truss got out of bed.
I actually know a few vultures that have like, oh, the pound's dropped. They've traveled to your country to buy things. But to be fair, I worked at a tattoo shop in 2001 it was on Hollywood Boulevard. The dollar dropped. I don't even remember what was going on. Oh, that's right. It was the Iraqi war. Long story short, seriously, this made me almost cry. But long story short, the dollar dropped and the euro was kicking the crap out of the dollar. And people came from all around the world to buy things on Hollywood Boulevard. And people were laughing because a $300 coat all of a sudden was an $80 coat to them. So, I worked at a tattoo shop in LA. They sell really weird things for people who don't know. They sell leather coats, stickers, patches, all kinds. LA is a crazy place.
Yeah.
So it's vulture season for anyone who wants to take advantage of things.
Yeah, I was really lucky in, I can't remember what year it was now, 2009, something like that. I can't remember. I went to America and I bought a camera, an SLR, digital SLR, really good quality one, you know. It was about £500 in the UK and I bought it for less than 300 US dollars. Well, sorry, I bought it for less than £300 because it was like $1.8 to the pound.
Exactly. And it was like that for a long time too. A long time.
Yeah, in the years I was going, which was like 99, I did it for about 10 years, near enough twice a year. I've been to America 13 times, and 12 of them was, you know, in that sort of about 10-year period-ish. And I think the worst it ever got was like $1.45 to the pound. The rest of the time it was, you know, a lot better. So your money spread really well. And really the thing that stopped me going was that they added loads of taxes to airfares, and so you know, it just became too expensive.
I'm so used to being taxed. I find it weird when I'm not. It's just become a way of life.
I remember in, I think it was 2003, the Iraq War had kicked off. And so it was about 6 months after that. And the price of oil, because the instability of the situation in Iraq, the price of oil had been rising and rising. And America, and you know, the politicians were talking about the idea of maybe giving Americans $100 rebate because it had gone to $3 a gallon. And I'm thinking, $3 a gallon, when you calculate the difference, in the UK, it's 7.5.
Yeah.
Right now, we're paying $6, and people are ready to riot. It's gone right back up. So what's this article, Mike?
Yeah, this is the last thing I want to talk about. This was Diane Abbott tweeted this today, and she says top Labour Party officials messaged each other on WhatsApp to say that I was hideous, truly repulsive, literally makes me sick, and a very angry woman. To this day, Keir Starmer has never apologized to me personally. And she wrote an article about it in The Independent. And she was the first female black MP. And the racism that she has received from her own party, is disgusting. And you know, I think it's appalling that Keir Starmer has not apologized to her.
He's probably.
And there was a you know, the Ford report has shown that there was a problem with systemic racism within the Labour Party, and they've, you know, the Keir Starmer and the Parliamentary Labour Party have just swept it under the carpet, and it's hardly gotten a mention in the mainstream media either.
Yeah,
it's shocking.
There's a similar thing with Rosie Duffield, who is a, you know, somewhat rabid transphobe, and Labour won't do anything.
No,
because they endorse it. I hate to be that person, but if you're not speaking out against it, I consider indifference or silence an endorsement.
Yeah,
I don't think of it as an endorsement. I think it's more likely a case of they're not really very important to us. We're not going to use them as a pledge of who we are. So it doesn't really matter whether we condemn it or don't condemn it, because that's not something that's relevant to us. You know, so it's just apathy. It's just like, yeah, we don't really care. And the thing is, she gets us votes in Sheffield, so therefore, you know, and of course, there's the suggestion that that Eddie Izzard is going to contest her seat for the Labour Party as well.
Oh wow.
Don't know how accurate that is, but that was one of the things that I saw around as well.
Didn't Rosie Duffield say that if Eddie Izzard contests her seat, or wins, that she will leave the Labour Party, and there's a number of other people who will too.
It was the one of you know, if Eddie Izzard, and he, by the way, called her he, if Eddie Izzard gets shortlisted for women-only categories, I will leave the Labour Party. It's an interesting thing how Labour have got rid of the women-only categories.
I thought that was the case. Yeah.
Yeah, what a surprise.
Yeah.
How the thing that she's saying that if they do that, I'll leave, but they're not doing it, so she doesn't have to leave.
Yeah.
Which is a pain.
And it just seems to me that Labour. I'm not sure how to put this, but there was a war against people on the left and people of color, and people in the trans community as well within the Labour Party.
And Jewish people as well.
And Jewish, the wrong kind of Jew.
Don't even get me started on that one. I've heard awful things from people claiming to be in the Labour Party.
Yeah,
or maybe they really are. I don't know. I'm not from your country, but I'm like, where I live, you couldn't claim to be part of a certain party and say things that awful.
Yeah, but
unless you're an orange man.
Yeah, but if it's terrible, but in the Labour Party, if you're a Jew and you support Palestine, you're the wrong kind of Jew, and that's terrible. That's anti-Semitic.
As someone who's been there twice as well, Palestine doesn't even exist anymore, as it did 30 years ago. 35 when I went there the first time. So, you see, and that's another thing. Like, criticizing Israel is not anti-Semitic. We're literally criticizing a country. We're saying these, I do not like these people's policy. Go there. Yeah. I urge, and I'm not one of those people who say, "Oh, do your research," but go there. Go there, get a passport, and go there, and then tell me how comfortable you feel, and how much you would support. I always say that about going. I've been to Egypt. Go anywhere where a religion has rule over a country. It is not what you think it is.
And
not a fan. Not a fan.
Do you know something? I don't know. I have no idea why we have the immigrants coming on boats to this country, because the first thing that happens is they arrive on the beach and notice that it smells like shit.
Our beaches are awful too.
No. What I mean is, we literally have been overflowing water, sewage water.
Oh yeah,
onto beaches.
Oh yeah, that's just awful. That's just...
I mean, basically the way the immigrants get here now is follow your nose.
And Naomi Winborn Idrissi, she's a Jewess, but she's one of these Jews who has been suspended. She's been suspended from the Labour Party. For basically being the wrong kind of Jew, for speaking against the apartheid that's happening in Israel.
Full apartheid.
It's terrible. And have you? I don't know. Have either of you watched the Labour Files?
No.
No, I need something new in my life, though.
Look up the Labour Files on YouTube.
Awesome.
It's by Al Jazeera. They go into in depth, and there's I think there's 3 or 4 parts to this documentary that they've made, exposing all of this. And I've just finished watching part 2, and I challenge anyone to watch this and still want to vote Labour afterwards.
I have to apologise for being a little bit cynical when it comes to just Al Jazeera and anything, because I remember something. It's a good while ago now. It's at least 10 years ago, and there was a spate of shark attacks off Sharm el-Sheikh in Egypt, and so politicians in that part of the world ended up doing what so many of them do: blame the Jews. And so there was basically this weird conspiracy theory that Mossad was training sharks to attack people to damage their tourist trade.
They do hate. They hate each other. They effing hate each other. It's
and of course there's been those protests in Iran, and the Ayatollah goes and blames America and the Jews.
Okay, but to be fair,
they were doing it. They were causing this to happen. They were making them do it. They were acting behind the scenes to, do this.
But we were the cause. America was the cause of the revolution in the first place, because they broke into the embassy and found out that we were running their country.
Yeah.
So Iran has a right to hate America. I'm not saying that anything they're doing is okay. I'm not saying that anything. I'm not endorsing that. I'm just saying they have a reason to hate America.
Do you know what their second biggest industry is? The production of American flags.
Yeah.
But Al Jazeera. Go back to what you were saying, Laura, about Al Jazeera.
Just for people to realise, I'm saying that they do have a weird tendency for burning American flags. That's their industry, making American flags for the country to burn.
But Al Jazeera, I think they are financed by the Qatari government, and I don't agree with everything that they broadcast, or I don't agree with everything they stand for. But this documentary, the Labour Files, they've done this one very well.
Yeah,
I challenge everyone to watch it.
Yeah, I mean, the thing to bear in mind with any large group of people, sometimes the only thing you've got in common with someone is that you're politically inclined way, or you do sewing, or you do model trains, or you're trans, or whatever. But in every other circumstance, you're completely different people, politically, socially, economically, etc. And I've seen it in this corner of of our world, sort of, atheists. Oh, you think you're all the same kind of thing?
Oh no.
It's a bit like when I see the Christian fundamentalists, on YouTube or whatever, when they're not bitching about the atheists, then they start looking at what they believe in. And next thing you know, it started getting rather fractured and stuff, because, it's like, the stuff,
mass movements are funny.
Yeah, Matt Dillahunty described it as if you want to know what's wrong with the First Baptist Church, ask the Second Baptist Church.
That's true. In mass movements, the first thing they do is purge all the unbelievers, and then they eat themselves. Then they divide and literally fight. It's human nature. It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, ironically, that's exactly what happened in Iraq. Saddam went away, the power, disappeared, and next thing you know, you got Seer and Shuni trying to kill each other.
Exactly.
But anyways, we've gone over the 1 hour mark, and for a show, for a start, despite the fact that this show has been disorganized, and I have to put my hands up. I was woefully underprepared for this show because I've been so busy this week. But despite that, we've been able to chat, for over an hour now, and so yeah.
I just want to point out. Did you hear the fact that Truss's speech was marred by the sound of multiple knives being sharpened?
Yeah.
And also, I've heard this rumor. Don't know whether it's true, but apparently her own reflection was left bored rigid during the speech rehearsal.
Did you see how they're crowning that woman who held up this sign that said "I didn't vote for you" or "Who voted for this"?
Yeah, Greenpeace. The Greenpeace.
Oh my gosh, she's all over the news.
Yeah.
Oh.
But on that, anyway.
Before you end the show, would I now that the pound's down and I'm a angry American, would I go to jail if I went to your country and held a sign that said, like on the news, that said, "I think you all suck"?
No, suck isn't enough.
But if you shouted it for a megaphone, you probably would.
Yeah.
And my son broke mine. You guys are lucky. Isaiah broke mine.
And on that bombshell, we're going to close the show. Thank you guys for joining me this evening, and thanks to Stall as well for your contributions.
Riveting as always.
As always.
The thing is, I thought it balanced it out because at the moment Ukraine seems to be the one getting all the bombshells.
And we'll say good night. And if you're watching, then do, and you're not yet subscribed, because many people watch this after the fact. Most people who watch this after later on, and most of those people, according to my stats, I can't remember what the stats are exactly, but most of them are not subscribed. So if you're watching and you enjoy the show, then do subscribe. It's completely free of charge, and it really helps me out. It really helped me if you were to subscribe and share these videos with your friends and family. Anyway, that said, I'll say good night and see you next week. Bye for now.
Bye.
Later on.